Okay, everyone, hello. I'm Joanne Panzardi. I'm the chair and the instructor, one of the instructors in the engineering department. And I'm here today to talk to you about the engineering education process. And what I'm going to do right now is share my screen and pull up your home page. And this is how you should view it because it's a student view. So this is the home page for your Engineering 5 class. And I'm going to go down to modules so you know where we're going to be today and what we're going to be working on. So here you see week 0, 1, 2, 3, and we're in week 5. And the topic that we're covering today is engineering education. And just call me Joanne. So there's two main things we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at engineering academic programs. You see the heading right here. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sites we're going to be looking at, or pages we're going to be looking at. And then the second topic we're going to be talking about are engineering courses and schedules. And in there we have 4 different things that I'm going to be pulling up. I'm going to be going back and forth from the module to paper to some other websites. So we're going to start out with this first one, where to get your engineering degree. And I'm going to open it up. And I am going to make the screen a little bit larger. Okay, so whenever you're given a graph, the first thing you want to do is look at the axes. And I tend to look at the x-axis first, and then I look at the y-axis. So what I want you to do is look at the 2 axes, and then look at the legend. Red represents engineering, computer science, and math. And blue represents the arts and humanities. And I want you to take a look at all these dots on here and what they linearly interpolated it to be. And I want you to figure out what this graph is actually telling you. And I'm going to give you a few minutes to look at it. Everybody ready? Okay, I'm going to make this smaller so that I can actually see what's going on in the chat in case somebody wants to be, because I'm going to call on you guys because I want this interactive. I don't want to be the only one talking here. Okay, Emilio, if you look at the x-axis when it says university admission rate, what do you think that means between 0 and 100? What does that mean?
So when I was looking at the x-axis, the information told me that basically from 0 to 100, that's the percentage of the admission rate of the universities.
Okay, so could you give me an example of a school that might have low admission rate?
Any of the top universities in the country.
Great. Okay. So when we're looking at this x-axis admission rate, the ones down here are the schools that maybe would be more selective in who they accept. And the schools up here where the 100% is are schools that are going to let a lot more students in. So we're looking at admission rate. We're looking at how many people, students are actually let into each of the universities. Okay. And then how about Israel? Azriel, tell me about the y-axis. What do you think that means?
if they got their money back on the degree.
Okay, so you could think of it in terms of money, or you could think of it in terms of success. We're looking at 20-year average annual return on the degree. So let's take a look at this now. And notice we're talking about, are we talking about, Jose's not here, so Daniel D. Daniel D. Are we talking about international universities or American?
Looks like American.
It is, it's American because it says American. And
Yeah.
then Nick F. Verinsky, what's the difference between this red and blue?
One is the degree in engineering, computer science, and maths, and the other is
Okay.
arts humanities, or the line itself. The dots are the lines.
Anything you want to tell me. So what you just told me is correct. We're looking at more technical degrees in the red, and we're looking at more blue. So
Okay.
if you're just, but you could go on, Daniel, keep going. So if you wanted to, oh, I'm sorry, Nick, right? F. So
Yeah.
Nick, if you're comparing the red and the blue, what is it telling you about the return?
Arts and humanities have a less rate of return than engineering, computer science, and maths.
Okay, sounds good. And now how about Braden? Braden, what would you say about the slope of the blue versus the slope of the red? Braden, are you with us? Okay, I'm going to go on. Brandon, Gordon, what would you say the difference between the slope here is?
Yeah.
Brandon?
Are you talking
He
about?
doesn't have a mic.
Are
He
you
doesn't
talking
have a
about-
mic. So, but you have an answer anyway? You could just
Can you
type
hear
it.
me?
I can hear you now. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Are you talking numerically or just what they're showing?
What they're showing.
Well, it's just showing the average for each. It's showing kind of the average slope of
Okay.
each constraint.
Okay. So in now putting the whole graph together in terms of engineering and the humanities, the fact that the red is kind of level and the blue is more slanted, what is it really telling you about the degree versus which university you go to? Braden, do you want to still answer that? I'm looking in the chat, but I think it's hard to type. So Brandon, do you want to continue?
It don't really matter what school you go to if you get a degree in engineering. The
Correct.
slope is relatively the same.
That's right. So if you are majoring in the humanities, it's definitely more important to go to a school that is more selective, that it's harder to get into. But in terms of getting a degree in computer science, it doesn't matter. So why do you think that's the case? Why does it not matter where you get your degree, your bachelor's degree in engineering? Where do you think? Kevin, do you want to try?
Maybe it's because like engineering is a more important job to society.
Okay, more important job, we could say that. What else can we say? How about Edwin? No, it doesn't, I don't think Edwin's here. How about Marilyn?
Marlene, it's pronounced Marlene.
Oh, Marlene, thank you.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right,
They basically just teach the same thing throughout all the schools, I think.
yeah, that could be an answer too. But how about, you probably heard at some point about supply and demand.
Yeah.
There are tons of jobs in engineering. There are tons of jobs in engineering. So there's always a job for everyone. The only time I've ever had, and I've been teaching at Cabrillo, I think this is my 25th year. The only time I've ever had students come back to me after they get their bachelor's degree in engineering from a university and say, I can't find a job, is when they did not have an internship during their education. So keep that in mind while you're at Cabrillo, and then when you transfer, make sure somewhere along the line, you get an internship working at an engineering company. And if you're students at Cabrillo, then we could help you get internships. I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute because again, I would like to see all you, but a lot of you aren't showing, maybe don't have webcams. Are any of you high school students or all of you college? I think we have some high school students in the group, but I don't know how many.
I'm a high school student.
Okay, so one Daniel,
A high school student.
Brandon, Francesca. Okay, so it looks like I have 3. So you guys, during your route, depending on whether you're, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, or where you're going, you're going to determine whether you want to go to Cabrillo or you want to go straight to a 4-year university. Okay? All right, so now that we looked at that, I want to share my screen again. And I'm going to go back to the modules. So if it doesn't really matter where you get your engineering degree, what's going to come into play for you in deciding where you want to go? It's really a personal choice. One thing that is very important is it's the engineering program being accredited. So could everybody see the second link right here? It says Accreditation Board of Engineering and Technology. And I'm going to open that up. And the website for, it's called ABET, abet.org, if you see it up here. I could go into here and find out which programs are accredited or not. Are any of you interested in environmental engineering? Okay, I see a nod. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for a program. I'm going to type in environmental engineering. And it pops up. And I'm also going to check in. Notice I'm starting to see like Bucknell, which is a cool university in Pennsylvania. But I'm going to put some filters in here. I'm going to, let's say that you want to stay in the United States. And you want to stay, let's say, in California. So what I did is I put in the environmental engineering degree. I also put in California. So now we're going to be able to see which programs are accredited. And accreditation, you may have heard of that term before. It basically the ABET is an organization that has engineers and professors and deans, and they rate the programs at each of the universities and determine whether they should be ABET accredited or not. So if you're interested in environmental engineering, you see that Cal Poly San Luis Obispo is ABET accredited, San Diego State, UC Merced, UC Irvine, UC Riverside, University of Southern California, okay? Those are some of the engineering programs at the universities that are accredited. But notice that it depends on the program. Programs are accredited. So at one university, their civil and mechanical engineering may be accredited, but their electrical engineering program may not be accredited. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute. So when I'm looking at ABET, I'm looking for the exact program, the engineering program. So first, I started this class saying it doesn't really matter where you go to get your bachelor's degree. There's enough supply and demand for engineering, for engineers, and not enough people go into engineering. There's enough demand that it doesn't matter where you get your bachelor's degree in engineering. That's the first one. Second, I'm showing you what ABET accreditation is. You want to make sure that you're going to a program that is ABET accredited. Okay? Everybody got it? Thumbs up? Let me see thumbs up so far. Okay.
Can I ask
Okay.
a question?
Yeah, of course.
Wh-
Francesca?
What are the benefits of going to an ABET college?
Well, if you don't go to a program that's ABET accredited, it could be that it's like going to getting a degree. When you get a degree from something that's not accredited, it's really getting a degree from something that has not been approved.
Okay.
If you want to become a licensed engineer, you need to go to an ABET accredited program. if you don't, you'll have to work many more years because your degree doesn't really count.
Okay.
Another thing is if you want to go to graduate school, if you didn't get a degree, a bachelor's degree from an accredited program, they may not value that you have that engineering degree. Also, if you want to go to law school or medical school. So it's really important to go to a program that's accredited. Okay? All right. I should say, almost all programs are ABET accredited because the university knows the value of an ABET accredited engineering school. Okay? And now you know there is a such thing as accreditation for engineering, right? Probably before you walked in today, well, you may have known already because you read the chapter in the textbook and getting prepped for this. And I have a feeling Ray Landis, the author, mentioned ABET. Did he in that chapter that you read?
Yeah.
He did. So you probably knew about it once you read it. But before that, there are many students who go from high school as a senior to a college or a university, and they don't even know what ABET is, and they might be going to a program that's not accredited. You want to make sure that you are going to a program that's accredited, okay? Okay. So now, the next thing is I'm going to share something else with you. I'm going back to the course module. So first thing we talked about is that graph. We looked at this, and now we're going to something like this. Have you guys heard about technical societies already? Like there's a technical society called ASME, American Society of Mechanical Engineers, American Society of Civil Engineers, Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. It's a technical society of all people that are in the same engineering discipline. In this case, I belong to the American Society of Engineering Educators because I'm a professor. So I'm going to open this up and I want to show you something. You're going to read this for your homework. And let's open this up. I really wish I was in the classroom talking to you rather than doing it on screen. But what this website is, or what this article is, it tells you a lot of different things about how popular the different fields of engineering are. So for instance, let's go, Francesca, you're up next. So which is the most popular degree to get in engineering?
I'm sorry, what?
Which is the most popular field of engineering to get a degree in?
I'd say probably mechanical.
Right, and can you see the screen? I'm sharing the screen with you guys. Can you see the table?
No.
No, I can't see.
Francesca, you can't see it? Is it because you're on, why? Why would that be?
You're not sharing it. I don't think anybody can see it.
Ah, thank you. Okay, hang on.
I can't see it.
Okay, so I probably didn't share before I went there. Hang on. Okay, so here's the article, and I'm gonna make it larger. Okay, now Francesca, you could see it, right? And your guess was correct. Take on the x-axis, we're looking at all the different fields of engineering. And then on the y-axis, we're looking at the number of degrees, bachelor's degrees that are given out. And it's again in the United States. So you could see that mechanical engineering is the most popular. The second most popular is computer science, then electrical, civil, chemical. Okay? This has an amazing amount of information in here. It talks about which universities are the biggest that award the most. It talks about the universities that have a smaller amount of students per faculty member, which might be something that you're interested in. So you already know that it really doesn't matter where you go to school, but accreditation is important. So you have to start thinking about what other things are important to you. Maybe small class size. So for homework, you're going to be looking through this and finding some interesting features. But what I want to do is I want to bring your attention to one of the tables on here. And it's not only this information isn't just providing you information on bachelor's degrees, but it's also providing you information on graduate degrees, whether you get master's or PhDs. But again, I want to look at one table that we're going to look at together. But you could see how much information is in here, right? Okay. So this is the table I want to look at now. Does everybody see this? So let's say, and this is undergraduate enrollment. So let's look at year 2013. And Clayton, you're up next. Is Clayton here? No. Okay, Nick Marini, you're on. In 2013, how many freshmen were there majoring in all the different fields of engineering?
141, 143.
Right. Over 141,000. So in the United States in 2013, there were over 141,000 students majoring in engineering as a freshman. When they went to their sophomore year, Alexis, and is it Alexis or Alexis?
Alexis?
Alexis, going from freshman year to sophomore year, what number are you looking at now?
A little bit over 120,000.
Right, a little bit over 124,000, which means a number of people, what is it, about 15,000 students who started as freshmen in engineering and dropped out of the program. And I really applaud you for taking this course because you're learning about all the fields of engineering to determine whether you want to be an engineer or not. A lot of times when students go straight to a university, they really don't know what engineering is all about. And then they see all the classes they have to take, and sometimes they drop out. Okay, then when they went from sophomores to juniors, we're now at Fabian. Is Fabian here?
Yeah, that's me.
Yes, Fabian, great. So now we're up to what?
Increased to 135,000.
Yeah, we're up to almost 136. So how come the number went up, Fabian? What do you think? Because this is junior year.
Transferred it, maybe?
Yep, transfer students.
Yeah.
So it's students who transferred in from a community college. Okay, so it went from 141, dropped to 124. They transferred in 135. And then how about in senior year? Cristo Ortiz, are you here? Okay, how about Daniel Perez?
Yeah.
Okay, Daniel, what are we looking at now? How many engineering students are in the senior year?
197,235.
197, much higher, right? So,
yeah.
Okay, so let's think for a moment why this number jumped so much. So it jumped by 60,000 students. Want to take a guess, somebody? There are two reasons.
The program transfer students too.
Yes, that's true. Okay, wait, hang on. So when a student transfers from a community college, sometimes they came to a community college not knowing what field, what they wanted to major in, and they tried out a bunch of things, and then in the end, they decided they wanted to be an engineer. So by the time they transfer, they have a lot of units, and they actually might be called seniors when they go to the university, not juniors. So that's one reason. Okay, did you have another reason?
I'm not sure.
Okay, the second reason, and that accounts for a lot more, is even though engineering is considered a 4-year degree, the average number of years to get an engineering degree hovers between 5.6 and 6.2 years. So that means the big number here, the 62,000 students represent those students who stayed a 5th year or a 6th year. And there's no like super senior year, right? So there's freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So this number represents those students who are going into the senior year, but also staying for a 5th year. Okay,
all right.
so I'm gonna stop sharing for now. Okay, so far, you know, it really doesn't matter where you go. 2, you do want to go to a school that's ABET accredited. 3, you see a little bit of dropping out from freshman to sophomore, but a lot of students come in as transfers. In fact, in California, 50% of people who work as engineers went through a community college first. Did you hear that? 50% of people who get a bachelor's degree in engineering in California first went to a community college. So you have options, okay? All right, so what's gonna come into play then in choosing a school? There are many personal things that are gonna come into play. Some of you might not wanna be further than 3-hour drive from home. Some of you might wanna be far away from home. Some of you might wanna live in the snow for a while and see what that's like. Some of you might surf and really wanna be near the coast. Some of you might wanna learn what it's like to live in the East Coast. Some of you might love Native American culture and love the food and wanna go to New Mexico. I really love New Mexico. So you might wanna go in another place. So it's not only an academic reason to choose a school. It's personal as well. You also might want to go to a school that's more hands-on if you're a hands-on learner. You might want to go to a school that has small class size, I mentioned before. You might want to go to a school that has a lot of research done by professors because you want to be a researcher. So there are many reasons that you choose to go to a certain school. So, and that's one of your homework assignments too, to actually think about where you would want to go based on your both personal reasons and academic reasons. Okay, for those of you who have webcams, let me just tell you, it's really boring just teaching to 3 pictures. So I would really love it if you do have a webcam to turn your face on. Okay, that'd be really awesome. And if you don't have a webcam, get one from Cabrillo. You could get a Chromebook, you could get a webcam, you could get a hotspot, you could get so many things borrowed from Cabrillo. Okay, all right, thanks. All right, next thing I want to do is talk to you about, I'm going to go back, I'm going to start sharing again, and I'm going to go back to the website, and I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going back to the module. So you can see the module, right? You guys, yes, thumbs up? Okay, good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is instead of sharing the screen, I'm going to start using a document camera. Okay, and you might have to zoom in. Do you see what I have here? Everybody see the paper I have? Do you know what this paper is called? Take a guess.
Engineering paper?
Yes, thank you, Ennio. Engineering paper. Notice on the back side of the paper, it's a dark grid, and the dark grid comes through. Can you see the grid on the front side? So it's really awesome paper to use in sketching. So as you go through all your courses in Cabrillo, you're going to be using engineering paper. And then when you get out to work as an engineer, you're going to be using engineering paper too. In fact, all the companies have their logo on their engineering paper. Okay, so this is non-logoed engineering paper. So we're going to talk about, even though we know now that often it takes more than 4 years to get an engineering degree, I'm going to just say we have 4 years. We have year 1, that's called freshman year. We have year 2, year 3, year 4, year 1, 2, 3, and 4, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. Again, we know that some people stay a 5th year, some people stay a 6th year. Shoot, if you're working 30 hours a week, you might even stay a 7th year. Okay, so it's important to know, and these terms are really important. This is called lower division courses. All the courses offered in the first 2 years are called lower division. And what do you think? Let me see who I'm up to. Ennio, you went already, but let's do it again. What do you think this junior and senior year is called?
Upper division?
Yes, upper division. So those of you who go straight from high school, and remember, I'm recording, so this is going to be posted on my engineering education module. So those of you who go straight from high school to a four-year school, you're going to take all 4 of the years, both lower division and upper division courses at the university. Those of you who come to Cabrillo or another community college, you are taking the lower division courses at the community college. And then when you transfer, you take the last 2 years at the university. Those of you who are high school students who would like to go to a community college but would like to move out of the Santa Cruz area, talk to me because I can make recommendations. I know all the engineering instructors at all the community colleges in California. Okay? All right. So Orlando, could you give me some examples of what you think are lower division courses, the courses taught in the first 2 years? Orlando, and I have the chat open so I can read it. Okay, did Julio join us? Oh, I have to admit people. Yesenia. So what are some examples in the courses in the first 2 years?
Could be math class.
Great. So you're going to have math. Want to keep going? What else do you think you have to take?
Physics.
Great. Physics. What else? What's another science?
Would it be chemistry?
Chemistry. Now, let me also say, the second part of this talk today, you're going to learn, and I'll tell you now, that some electrical and computer engineering majors don't have to take chemistry, which seems a little odd for electrical engineers, considering you might actually be designing chips, which will require chemistry. But some electrical and computer engineering programs at the universities don't require chem. So math, physics, chem, I'm going to say engineering, maybe computer science, and then what's referred to as general ed classes. General ed, GE. General ed classes are like English, communication, psychology, history, etc. As engineering majors, we take very little general ed. Okay? So during your first 2 years, you're going to be taking math, physics, chem, engineering, computer science, and general ed. And I'm going to write down bio, because some of you might be interested in majoring in chemical engineering or bioengineering or biomedical engineering, and you might have to take a bio class or 2 as well. So these are all the classes you take in the first 2 years. And then in the last 2 years are the classes that you take for your engineering major. So if you go civil engineering, you're taking civil classes. If you go electrical, you're taking electrical classes. If you go industrial, you're taking industrial classes. And in addition, you get to choose 4 technical electives. What does an elective mean? Matthew, what do you think an elective means?
An elective can be anything from sports to something you'd like to do.
Okay, it's great. So an elective is something you get to choose. But let me put the adjective back on there, Matthew. It's a technical elective. So sports isn't going to count unless you're taking a prosthetic and orthotic class for sports in biomedical engineering. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in your senior year, you get to take 4 technical electives, and they have to do with engineering. They can't be sports or swimming or something. Okay? Everybody comfortable with this right now? So just how you have an idea of what kind of classes. And we're going to get more specific in these classes in a little bit. But what I want to talk about is the programs themselves. So I'm going to take out another piece of paper. You have many options. So let's say you are interested in designing structures, whether that be buildings whether that be bridges, dams, etc. You have an option on what bachelor's degrees you can get. So let's think, Jesus, is Jesus here? Vasquez Ortiz? I don't think so. Raul's here. Raul?
Yes, hello.
If you wanted to design structures as an engineer, what kind of bachelor's degree do you think you could get?
Probably the civil.
Great,
engineer.
excellent. You could get one option, option one, is to get a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. Can everybody see this? One option is to get a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. And remember I said that in your senior year, you take 4 technical electives? If you're interested in structures, you would want to get those 4 technical electives in structural design. Does that make sense? Because, and I'm going to do this example for structures. I'm going to do this example for mechatronics. I'm going to do a number of examples because I know you guys are all interested in different fields of engineering. So civil engineering is a broad degree. It's a broad degree. It covers structures, water, soils, surveying. It covers so much, but if you get the technical electives and structures, you have a little bit more structural stuff. Okay, how about somebody else? What's another option? Option 2. So let's go back up to the top. Emilio, you want to take what's another example of a bachelor's degree you could get if you're interested in building structures?
I would not know.
Okay, and actually I'm going to go back and write BS civil engineering. Okay, there's anybody else you know of? There are 2 other bachelor's degrees you could get if you're interested in designing structures.
Structural engineering?
Yep, a BS in structural engineering. And the only university in the state is UC San Diego that has a bachelor's degree in structural engineering. So how would you compare these 2 bachelor's degrees? The civil engineering is very broad. The bachelor's degree in structural engineering is really focused on structural engineering. And now there's a third option. Does anybody know what the third option is?
Maybe architectural?
Yep, architectural engineering. And the only university in the state that offers that is Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. So these 2 degrees, whether you get a bachelor's in structural or a bachelor's in architectural, they're more specialized degrees because they're focusing on structures. And the architectural engineering degree is actually taught in the College of Architecture, so they're going to have a little of a bent of art. Where the civil engineering degree is more broad. Everybody get the difference? Let me also add, so you get to decide. There's no what's better. Like you might be saying, well, what's better? There is nothing better. You get to decide. Do you want a more specialized degree? Do you want a more broad degree? Okay? Now, somebody who gets a broad degree in civil engineering might go on and get a master's in structural engineering because they wanted the broad degree for their bachelor's and then they got the specialized master's degree. And this is only 1 more year of school. So can I give you some examples? 3 faculty at Cabrillo. Kelly got a bachelor's degree in civil, but she was interested in environmental and then got a master's in environmental. Karen got a bachelor's in civil, got a master's in structures because she loves structures. I got my bachelor's in civil and I like geotechnical soils, so I got a master's in geotechnical. And it's not just in civil that you could do this. We're going to do another example now. I'm going to move down. Let's say you're interested in robotics. And do you know, I'm not sure, maybe you know from Engineering 5 already, what's another word for robotics? It's a combination of mechanical and electrical and software? Anybody know?
Mechatronics.
Mechatronics. Okay, so option one. Jose, did you come in yet? Doesn't look like it. Clay, I haven't put, Clay, do you like Clay or Clayton? Clay is okay?
Yeah, either way is fine.
Okay, Clay, what is an option? If you're interested in mechatronics and robotics, what could you get a bachelor's degree in?
Mechatronics.
Yes. So you could get, actually, I'm going to write it here, okay?
Yeah.
Option two, I could get a bachelor's degree in mechatronics engineering. And does anybody know who in the state has that degree?
MIT.
In the state, let's stick with California, just try to find out what's going on in the state. So Chico State does, and CSU Monterey Bay is going to have a bachelor's degree in mechatronics starting next year or the year after. So Clay, would you call this a broad degree or a specialized degree?
Specialized.
Right, great. Okay, who else hasn't gone? Danny, are you Danny Perez?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Danny, what's another option? If we think of mechatronics or robotics, think of like a robotic arm, What is it mainly? Which field of engineering?
Mechanical.
Yep, mechanical. I could get a BS in mechanical engineering. This would be broad. With my 4 technical electives in mechatronics. And if I want, I could go get my master's degree in mechatronics. There's a third option. And I'll just tell you what it is. It's also specialized. BS in robotics engineering. And UCSC has that program. So I gave you 2 examples. I gave you a civil engineering example. I gave you a mechanical engineering example, but we could do this in many different things. You have the option of getting a broad degree or a specialized degree. Okay, what I want to do now is let's take a 10-minute break. It's 4:50. Go take a break and come back at 5. And I'll be here this time if somebody has questions for me.
I have a question.
Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a moment. I'd rather just put my, okay, yeah? Who's
Hi.
asking? Oh, Clay. Okay, yeah, Clay, what's up?
Hey there. So I was trying to get in since the top of the hour. So I just wanted to make sure that we're okay.
So Clay, I'm really sorry. I didn't know I had to continue moderating. For my classes, when I teach, everybody could come on whenever they want.
Okay.
So I didn't realize that I had to monitor the weight room. So sorry about that. But Clay, I am recording.
Yeah.
I am recording, so you could listen to that beginning part that you missed, okay?
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Hey, Carl, sorry about that, Carl and everyone. I wasn't monitoring the weight room. Let me see if there's let me see if there's anybody else waiting.
I was just worried that firstly I'd miss a lot of content, but I also don't want to miss any points or like participation.
Okay. Okay. So I'll check it now, but yeah, I do apologize, but just watch that video, right? Because there are some important things that you'll learn from what I covered.
Okay.
So Raul's here. Jesus is not here. Julio didn't come. Daniel Perez. Daniel Perez, do you like Danny?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put Danny down. Christo. Oh, Julio, you are here. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Christo, I don't see. Fabian. I don't see Fabian.
Right here.
You're here, Fabian?
Yeah,
Where?
I'm here.
Oh, yeah, up in the top. Sorry, and you have your
You're
picture
good.
on. Okay. Fabian's here. Edwin. I don't see Edwin. Alexis is here, right? Yep. And Jose, any Jose's? No.
So
Okay.
Joanne?
Yeah.
I went ahead and disabled the waiting room, so they should drop right into the class now if it gets bumped out.
Okay. And could we do that for, well, I'll remember now for next week for the other section.
Okay.
I'll tell Priti.
I'm not sure it's enabled for the other section. I can't remember.
Okay. All right.
I'll check.
Thanks.
See you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
21. 20, 21. Excellent. I got everybody.
Hey, Joanne, I have
Yeah.
a question.
Yes.
I want to get into environmental engineering, but
Yep.
what would be the
Okay.
difference of going or getting a BA in civil engineering and then getting a master's in environmental instead of just getting a?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So first, it wouldn't be a BA because a BA is a
Sorry, my
bachelor's in
bad, my bad.
art.
Yeah,
It's
sorry.
a B.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. I just want you
No.
to use the
Mhm.
right term in the future.
Yeah.
People do that all the time.
I know the difference.
It's a BS, okay, because you're
Right.
getting a bachelor's of science degree. So the idea is it's the same as examples that we just did, where you could either get a broad degree and get a master's in environmental or specifically get a bachelor's in environmental. So there's actually a few questions I would ask you, Fabian. One is, what is it? And Fabian, did we speak already? Did I help you get a job shadow? No. Okay,
No,
what
I
do
think
you?
did.
I did. Okay,
connected me
so
with Alex, I think. Yeah.
okay, great. All right, good. So the question, and this is probably what we talked about, what are you interested in really doing in terms of environmental engineering? Are you interested in making better batteries or better cars? Like that is not really the environmental engineering degree that you're thinking about.
No.
Or you're more interested in environmental.
Right.
So I think you're going to have to just keep investigating and talking to a bunch of environmental engineers and see whether, did you meet with Alex yet?
Yeah, Alex had a mechanical degree, but with a civil engineering license. So.
Yeah, so he went the weird route. Don't go that
Right.
route.
Yeah, no, that's
But
cool. Like,
but
it's
what
kinda
you
weird,
could
but-
find, but what you can find out from him is he worked with a number of engineers who had a bachelor's in civil versus a bachelor's in environmental. The company he used to work for is called Fall Creek Engineering. And you might want to ask him if he could connect you with some of their engineers, and then you could talk to more. The more information you get, the better from different people. So it's not that one degree is better. What you might want to do is start looking at what the environmental, like if you want to stay in California, there aren't that many universities that offer a bachelor's in environmental. Look at what their courses are like. Like for instance, Humboldt State's environmental program is very much geared towards environmental, making sure the environment is good for water and air. So if that's not what you're interested, you probably don't want to get a bachelor's degree from Humboldt State.
Right.
But Cal Poly's degree may be different. So it's going to take some investigating on your part. Okay?
Thank you.
One isn't better than the other. Okay, we're going to start in about 3 minutes.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
So if you start with if you're interested in two different areas of engineering that are very different, so like let's say I wanted to get a bachelor's, a BS in civil engineering, and that would be just a general degree, right? But then I wanted to specialize in like mechatronics or something like that, with a master's, do you have to jump through extra hoops of fire to do that, or is that kind of something you can do within another year or so?
Yeah, good question. Those two just don't go together at all.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
There's no reason. You either decide if you want to be building things that are not moving, civil,
Okay.
or you want to be building things that are moving, which is more mechatronics. So then you would get, if you decide that mechatronics is what you're interested in, then you get a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and then a master's in mechatronics or a bachelor's in mechatronics. There's no, like if you were to say, Clay, that I'm interested in mechanical and electrical, those could be blended together in robotics. But civil engineering and electrical or mechanical, they're completely different curriculums.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that. The junior and senior year are different. I mean, you could do it. You could get a bachelor's in civil, but then before they're going to let you into the mechanical, the master's in mechatronics, you're going to have to take a year's worth of junior or senior level mechanical engineering classes.
Just for that master's, you mean?
Just to get the master's. Because and as a civil, you're learning about things that are not moving. And now you want to go in mechatronics where things are moving. And a mechanical engineering bachelor's degree is the one that taught you all those courses in junior, senior year of things that are moving, like vibrational analysis, machine design, all that stuff you're missing. So then you would have to, they probably wouldn't take you for the master's degree unless you took some of those junior and senior courses.
Is this kind of up to a university per university basis, or
That's correct.
There like some board that just decides what goes together and what doesn't?
No, it's the university. It's each university that decides.
Most commonly, like what pairs well and what doesn't, right? Just based on like
correct,
like correctly works out.
Right, and it's also going to be based on demand too. Like somebody said, oh, MIT has a master's degree in mechatronics. Well, a lot of people want to go there, right? So if you have a bachelor's degree in civil, they're probably not going to take you because there's so much demand. So many people are applying. They're going to pick the people who have the background, you know, where a school like San Jose State is more accommodating. San Jose State is more of an accommodating school. They want to have students who are different. So they might take you for a master's program, but you are going to have to take some mechanical classes.
Okay. So, but the degrees aside, because I have, for example, I have a background in construction. I've been doing that for about 9 years. So
yes,
engineering would really just be really natural for me to do. But I've always had an interest in more mechanical types of engineering, just out of, passion and interest. But would I be able to get a degree in some kind of mechanical like engineering, but then take on some civil jobs sometimes, or aspects of them, like maybe designing, moving doors for a hotel or something like that? That involves moving.
Okay, so one thing I want to say is your construction background is going to help you no matter what field of engineering you go into, because you've built things and you know how things need to be built, regardless of whether it's civil or mechanical, so you have that great advantage. I would definitely suggest that you go where your heart is. Just because you have experience building structural things, I would go mechatronics or mechanical if that's where your heart is. Now, I would say that if you have a degree in mechanical engineering, you could do projects on the side that are more civil focused. It's not a problem. In fact, Fabian wound up interviewing a guy who has a bachelor's in mechanical and decided he wanted to do civil. So he actually just worked in the civil industry, and then he wound up getting his license in civil engineering. And it works out fine too. I mean, you're going to have, but I wouldn't say the reverse is true.
Okay. But he had a degree in a mechanical engineering type of degree?
Right. He had a bachelor's degree in mechanical and then wound up getting a license in civil engineering.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm just looking for that sort of flexibility, for opportunity's sake.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And every time, from your point that you choose to declare what your major is, anytime you run into engineers, you ask them what they think. The more
Okay.
information, the more research you do, the better.
Mhm.
Use this time as time to do research, in
Mhm.
Engineering 5.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And Clay, you might decide to open your own company at some point,
Mhm.
where you're making widgets, you're making designs, and they could be both mechanical and civil.
Mhm.
The only thing is, if you are making something that goes in a building, you're going to have to become a licensed civil engineer.
Mm.
Because if you're a civil engineer, you have to get licensed, because anything you build can collapse and cause, people's lives.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, we're back. I'm going to go to share the screen to get back on the module. Okay, so just looking backwards a little, we looked at, and Clay, just so that you hear what we actually did, we talked about, whether it's important where you get your engineering, your bachelor's degree. We talked about engineering programs being accredited to say whether they're worthy or not. We looked at, we didn't look at a lot of data, but this has a lot of data that you're going to be looking at for homework to see, which universities are out there, how many degrees do they offer, how many people are in a classroom, lots of stuff like that, demographics. Then, yeah, let me just start showing you some of this stuff too. Now, those of you who came to the orientation at the beginning of the fall semester saw this already. Okay, so Cabrillo's engineering program began in 1960, 60 years ago. It was the second year that the college started. And we offer a complete lower division. So we offer all the freshman and sophomore level classes. And when you transfer to university, you're a junior. And we've had students transfer to universities in California and outside universities. We have a lot of faculty on staff with a variety of fields of engineering: geotechnical, mechanical, materials, software, structural, mechanical, environmental, a machinist who teaches the Engineering 12 class. We have a marine engineer. We have an environmental, we have another geotech, and we have a civil. So we have a lot of different fields of engineering and faculty. In addition, because our engineering program at Cabrillo has been around for so long, we have a database of all engineering students who have gone through Cabrillo's program, transferred to universities, and now are working as engineers. So regardless of the field of engineering that you're interested in, I could set you up with an alumni who is now working in that field of engineering. Okay. There are more than 600 engineering majors at Cabrillo. It's one of the top 10 majors at Cabrillo. The students are diverse in age, ethnicity, life and work experience, economics, and entering academic level, which is amazing. The benefit of being at Cabrillo is that you are going to be around a diverse student body. And you probably know already that engineering is really a creative endeavor. It's where we are designing things and we want to think outside the box. And if we all have different backgrounds, we could contribute something really unique. And therefore, it's really awesome. Here are the engineering and computer science courses that we offer, and we'll look more at those. So there's 5, 10, 15. I mentioned the alumni already. Transfer institutions, I looked at data back from 1995 when I started teaching till present, or 2 years ago. And then I looked at the last 2 years of data, and you could see the number of students that are Latinx have greatly increased. Females we're still working on. And then about 65% of students wind up transferring to a CSU over a UC. And the reason why is the CSUs tends to be more hands-on. The UCs tends to be more research focused. And then you'll see that about 50% of our students kind of stay local. This is San Jose State, UCSC, Santa Clara. And then if you add these two numbers, about 75% stay somewhat local. But we do have students, like I said, that transfer out down south to Southern California schools, and then also out of state. We have about 10% of our students transferred out of state. If I can name the schools, Colorado School of Mines, Boulder, Montana State, Oregon Institute, Oregon State, University of Oregon, University of Washington, British Columbia, North Carolina State, Virginia Polytechnic, Northeastern. I'm sure I'm missing some, but anyway, I'm just giving you some. In addition, we offer $20,000 in scholarships per year for students, and that's pretty amazing considering the tuition is maybe about $1,000. Okay, and then we run some really amazing grants too. Okay, I'm going to close that. And now I'm going to go back to the module. And those of you who attended the orientation also saw this, which is a PowerPoint slides on engineering education in the 21st century. And I want to show this to you as well. And I'm going to stop sharing for a minute just so that I could see you and you could see me. Remember, we already talked about it doesn't really matter where you get your bachelor's degree, but you do want to go to a program that's accredited. And you have to decide what are some things that are important to you on how you're going to choose your university that you transfer to. And some of it might be personal, location, weather, etc. But some of it also might be this kind of stuff that I'm sharing with you now. And hang on, there's so many things to be playing around with the photos of everybody, and I have to move our photos out of the way sometimes. Okay, so what I did is I put together what you're going to see in engineering education. So you definitely are going to have hands-on learning. Regardless of the university you go to, you are going to have to take labs. So you're going to be taking a materials lab. Those of you that are interested in civil, environmental, agricultural, you're going to take a surveying lab. Those of you into mechanical and electrical will take an electrical lab. These two are also materials. So some of your engineering courses in the first 2 years and the last 2 years will have labs associated with them. Then, these are pictures from our Cabrillo engineering program. Some universities are geared towards engineering design and they have a lot of engineering design projects. Some universities have none until your senior year, and you need to be selective if you want more design. We have design projects at Cabrillo in every engineering class. This is students had to design something to shoot a water balloon at a certain distance to hit a target. This was a project where it was a Rube Goldberg, basically like a 3D maze with a bowling ball. This one, students had to design musical equipment. This bottom one was students had to design something to walk across water. So if design and hands-on is really important to you, make sure you go to a school, you're selecting a school that has hands-on as an important part of it. Project-based learning means you learn while doing a project, and service learning means you're learning doing a project that's serving others. In these were two projects that our engineering students did, where they designed engineering and science exhibits for that Children's Science Museum in the Capitola Mall. We also have an engineering abroad program where we go to Costa Rica and we design water systems and structural systems and ag systems. Okay, so again, if you want design, go to a school that has design. Cabrillo also has a makerspace, and there are some universities that have an amazing makerspace where you could go in and make anything you want. There are 3D printers, there are laser cutters, there are tons of things. There are also engineering universities that have no makerspace. You have to decide. At Cabrillo, we have a huge study center. which unfortunately we're all doing virtual, but if we weren't, you would be working in the study center. There's free computers, there's free printing, there are books, there are textbooks. Students work together in groups all the time. There are teachers that have office hours in there. They have workshops. So if you like studying with other people, make sure that there's a place that you can do that. We hire tutors in our classes. We select students to be tutors in classes they've already taken the previous year. So they could be leaders, and when you see the material for the second time, you learn more. We also have a lot of engineering clubs. This is the robotics club. This is the engineering abroad club. This is the women in science and engineering club. And there are more. But you get to decide. Some universities, many universities have clubs. You have to choose which clubs you want to join. Engineering abroad, I already mentioned. We take students to conferences where they meet other engineering students from other universities and other professors, and they meet engineers from companies. We go on tours of engineering sites. And then we have students get mentored by alumni, just like you are interviewing some alumni that went to Cabrillo. Okay, so I'm going to close this now. I am going to stop sharing. Look at me again. So notice that I'm presenting you with things that you may or may not see in your engineering education. So on the homework assignment, when it asks what 15 things you're looking for in a university or a college, you should be listing things. And I'm trying to expose you to some things that you could see at schools. Let's see. I'm looking in the chat. Oh, somebody asked, how far along in the studies do you have to be to go to Costa Rica? You could apply whenever you want. The only requirements to go on the abroad program is that you take Engineering 5, that you already took Engineering 5, and that you take Engineering 25. So it's only 2 courses, and then you apply. Typically on the Engineering Abroad program, we go in January. So we have meetings in the fall, we go in January, and then we have meetings in the spring. It doesn't cost anything because we all fundraise together. The cost is about $5,000 for the program per student, but in the 8 years we've had this program, we were able to raise $50,000 every time. But since we are in COVID, we can't travel. The abroad students aren't going in January to Costa Rica. We're waiting till the summer. Let's see if there's any other questions in the chat. Okay, no. Okay, I'm gonna go back to our module again. Everybody could see the module, right? Okay, so now in addition to talking about universities and accreditation and talking about the engineering program at Cabrillo and what engineering education includes, what I want to do now is we're going to start to plan out our schedules. Okay, how many of you are in engineering, how many of you are in CG51 STEM? I guess give me a thumbs up maybe. There's nobody in CG51 STEM? Okay. People are here, right? I'm not talking to myself. Are you guys all here?
Hello.
You're here?
I'm here.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to go back to sharing the screen. I'm going in the module. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the courses. Okay, I don't see it. Ah, there it is. Okay, could you see all these courses here?
Yes.
You guys, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so these are all the courses that we teach at Cabrillo, which means there are all the lower division courses, right? Doesn't that make sense? Because the first 2 years is considered lower division. Now, even though I'm showing you the numbering system at Cabrillo, these are the same courses you would be taking at the university if those of you who are in high school decide to go straight to a university for the first 2 years. So these are all the possible courses you might take. So no matter what engineering class, no matter what your engineering major is, you are going to take 3 semesters of calculus, you're going to take differential equations, and you're going to take 2 physics classes. Notice it says the following core courses are required for transfer for all engineering majors. So you're all going to be taking this. The next grouping says the following core courses are required for transfer for most engineering majors and universities. Okay, so Chem 1A, every engineering major takes Chem 1A, but there are a couple of universities for electrical or computer engineering that they don't require chemistry. The next course, Engineering 10, you don't need to write all this down because I'm going to help you with it. Engineering 10 is required for San Jose State and Berkeley. Circuits is not required for civil engineers. Graphics and 35 and 45 are not required for electrical or computer engineers. Okay, so these are the courses that most of these courses you're going to be taking. But the last grouping is really a question mark. So this is a big question mark on whether you take these or not. So let's go back to our name list. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to start from the top. Emilio, who do you think, which engineering majors would have to take another chemistry class? Take a guess.
I would think you were saying earlier. I'm blanking.
So that's okay. So you guys, you could always say pass if you don't want me to be bothering you, okay? No problem. But yeah, Emilio, you're going to hit yourself. You're going to be like, okay, the first one is chemical engineering.
Yeah.
Of course, right? Okay, so majors that have to take another chemistry class are chemical engineering. Azriel, could you think of other engineering majors that require another chemistry class?
Maybe fire protection and prevention.
Okay, fire protection, definitely. So we have chemical, fire protection. I'm just going to keep going. Bioengineering, environmental engineering, and materials engineering, because all those engineering fields, chemistry is important. Okay. All right, next one. How about Daniel D? What engineering majors will have to take another computer program, another programming class?
Probably mechatronics.
Okay, maybe mechatronics. What others are definite? How about computer engineering, electrical engineering, software engineering? Okay, so can you see how these classes that I call question mark classes, they really depend on your major. Let's look at the next one. Engineering 1, surveying. Nick F. What do you think? Who would take surveying? Surveying is what you see out on the freeways where someone's, has an orange vest on and looking through a piece of equipment in a tripod and learning the lay of the land. Which fields of engineering which would require surveying?
Maybe civil engineering or like structural.
Civil, structural, environmental, agricultural. Okay, and architectural. Okay, you guys are getting the idea of what to do here? Like, so all these courses really depend on what your major is. So the question is, what classes then do you take at Cabrillo, right? How do you figure out what classes you need to take at Cabrillo? Does anybody know the answer to that question? Does anybody know what site is available to find out what classes you should take at Cabrillo?
Assist.
Assist, right. So let's go back up here. Take a look at this paragraph right here. It says, for transfer to California public universities. So if you want to transfer from Cabrillo to a public university, which means a UC or a CSU, you go to assist.org. You put in Cabrillo, You put in the university you want to go to. You select your major and out pops a list of classes you need. I'm going to take some water. Okay. Exception. If you want to go to Cal Poly, you also want to go to the Cal Poly page because Cal Poly has certain criteria that they want to see. Okay, so let's say you don't want to go to a public university in California. You want to go to a private school or you want to go to a university out of state. Well, then we need to go to the university's website and take a look at what they require in their first 2 years. Okay? All right, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. So are any of you interested in going out of state?
Potentially.
Okay, maybe Nick F. And I see in the chat, Braden, you said nuclear. Yeah, nuclear you would probably need chemistry for nuclear. Clay might want to go out of state. Okay, so let's figure out how we would do this. All right, so we have to figure out what classes you need. So I'm going to share the screen one more time. I'm going back to the module. So you notice everything that I'm showing you today is all in that module, right? It's all in this engineering education module. I've gone through every one of these already. So we just looked at this and now we're going to look at this engineering core checklist. And I would print it out. So do you see what's here? On the first 2 columns, list all the course numbers at Cabrillo and what their names are. And then the next 4 columns represents which university you want to go to. Okay? So I am going to stop for a minute. And I'm going to show you how to use Assist. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 screens up. One is this. Does everybody see the table? Everybody sees the table? So I'm just going to pick a major and I'm going to pick a school. Okay, so I'm just going to say me, Joanne, and I basically just printed it out from the website. I'm going to put the date today. Oh, is today the 1st? Yeah, 10/1/2020. And I'm going to pick my major. I'm going to pick mechanical engineering. Okay, and I'm going to say that I'm interested in going to UC Davis. And I'm also interested in University of Colorado at Boulder. And I'm interested at San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly. Okay. Now remember, I'm going to post this video for my lesson so you could always watch it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Assist now. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to Assist. Can everybody see this bluish purple screen? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. So now I scroll down and it says, what academic year am I planning on transferring? Well, no, what year are we in? So I'm just going to pick 2021. I'm going to select the school I'm at, which is Cabrillo. And I'm going to select UC Davis. And it doesn't want to pop up that way. So, oh, there it is, Davis. Okay. So I'm going to say view agreement. And now it's going to ask me, it's not going to ask me for the major. They're lagging a little, so I'm going to go back in time a little. Let's hope 18 is here. Because I want to show you how to do this. Darn it. Okay, so Davis is behind in updating this. There's major. you want to choose major. And then I'm going to write in mechanical engineering. And then I'm going to say view agreement. And it's going to pop up. But now I have to stop sharing my screen and then share it again to show you the report. Okay, so here, notice, it says at the top, it's the articulation agreement between Davis and Cabrillo. See, Cabrillo's on the right side and Davis is on the left, and it says for mechanical engineering. So now I'm going to go through this. It's a hell of a lot to read, but I'm going down to the most important part here. So now, can everybody see my table here? I have UC Davis for mechanical engineering, and I see that Math 5A, B, and C is required. I see 6 and 7 is required. And actually, I know this by heart, but Chem 1A is required. Chem 1B is required. Physics 4A, B, and C are required. 15, 25, and 35 is required. 30 is required. And notice for that one, you could take the engineering 30 computer class, or you could take a computer science class. I would suggest taking engineering 30 because there's more applications in engineering there. And let's see, anything else? There's English, but I'm only worried about the core courses right now. And then it says, let's see, what's this say? Required for graduation. So I also have engineering 45. Okay. And it looks like I could take physics 4D too. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. So does everybody understand what I did? Is I looked on Assist because this was a public university in California, and I checked off all the courses I need. Okay, and I should check off that physics 4D because that was required for graduation anyway. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Boulder, but Boulder is in Colorado. It's an out-of-state school. I can't go to Assist. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go to Boulder's website. And let me, I'm going to share the screen again. I'm going to, okay, I'm going to Google. I'm going to say CU, it's called CU because in California it's UC, California Boulder, mechanical engineering, and I'm gonna write, oh, I saw it, flow chart. I also saw 4-year plan. So I'm gonna pull that up. And I have to stop sharing again. And I will stop sharing, and then I have to go back and share. Okay, so now, why is it, it's not showing, oh, clear all. I'm not, well, it might be a little bit hard for you to read, but going through here, I could tell, like, here's Calc 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to just start checking it off. For Boulder, I know it's Calc 1, 2, and 3. So let's see, what is this? Let's see how they organize this. They go from 1 to 8. So this is semester. So this is fall of freshman year. This is spring of freshman year. So that means this is chemistry. You need computer-aided design, which is engineering 25. And engineering 26. Calc general physics, there are 2 physics, so it's physics 4A and 4B. Statics, that's 35. Calc 3, materials, that's engineering 45. Notice I'm not doing any general ed. I'm just looking at the core courses right now. There's linear algebra and differential equations. Mechanics of solids, that's 40, and then dynamics. So I'm going to close this again. So right now, looking at these two schools, it's showing me what I need to do if I want to apply to both schools. You see, there's a lot of things the same, but then Davis wants to see more physics, and Davis wants to see more chemistry. So by looking at that, could any of you figure out what the difference is between those two mechanical engineering programs? Which one is more theoretical and which one is more hands-on and applied? Who wants to answer the question? How about Brandon? Is Brandon still here? I don't see him. Kevin? Kevin? Which school is more theoretical and which one's more applied?
UC Davis is more theoretical.
Why do you say that?
Because it has like more science classes?
Right, they're making you take more science classes. Where Colorado is more of a hands-on school. Okay, so just looking at the courses can tell you what kind of school it is. All right, and it depends on what your interest is. Are you more of a theoretical person, or are you more someone who wants to touch things? Okay, all right, then let's go to Cal Poly. Well, do we need to? I don't think we need to go to Cal, well, let me just show you. So Cal Poly is a public institution in California, right? So the first thing I would do is go to Assist. Yeah, let me do this because a lot of you guys like to go to Cal Poly. So let me go to Assist. Just hang on a second. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm on Assist again. And notice Cal Poly has updated their Assist agreement. We're looking at 1920. So we choose major. I'm going to choose mechanical engineering. And I'm going to view the agreement, which means I have to stop sharing again. I need to pull up the agreement. And then I will share my screen. Okay, so here's the articulation agreement. Notice it looks a little newer. On the right side, it says Cabrillo, and on the left is Cal Poly. So I'm going to look down the right side. So I see 25 and 26. I see 35. I see 40. I see Chem 1A and Chem 1B, but I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. I see engineering 30. I see engineering 15. I see engineering 45. You see that there's multiple listings of everything, so it's a little hard to read, but I could help you. And then physics 4A, B, and C. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna stop sharing now. And now you guys know how to look at my screen bigger, right? Are you able to look at it bigger? So again, we're looking at, well, all three schools want all the math. Davis wants 4 physics, Boulder wants 2, Cal Poly wants 3. Even though Cal Poly on that assist agreement said Chem 1B, for Cabrillo students, you don't have to take Chem 1B, and I could work with you individually. You don't need it. And then notice how many engineering classes. So if you were to compare Davis and Cal Poly, you would say that Cal Poly is more hands-on too. There are more engineering courses required than at Davis. Davis has more than the science. Okay. All right. What do I want to do now? Oh, I want to show you another page. Now, Cal Poly they changed the site, so I want to okay, so I am going to share the screen again. And I'm looking at Cal Poly. So this is Cal Poly's website for transfer students. And if you click on major specific transfer criteria, you pick your major. Let's go mechanical again. And you submit it. And then let's just pick fall 21. Here they wrote down the courses that are required before you get there. So I am going to circle. They want to see all these math classes before you transfer. They want to see all the physics classes before you transfer. They want to see the chem class. They want to see materials. They want to see statics. They want to see circuits. They want to see programming. They want to see 25 and 26. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. So now, looking at these courses now you know the courses at Cabrillo that each of these universities want. For the first one, it was a public institution. I went straight to assist. The last one, Cal Poly, was a public institution, but then they sometimes pick only some of the classes they want, but in this case, they wanted all of them. And then Boulder, I went straight to their website and I figured out which of our which the classes are. Okay, the next thing you're gonna do, or the next thing we're gonna do, is now I'm going back to my module. I'm going back to my module. The next thing on here is, oh, I want to show you about Cal Poly, but this is a critical path. And let me just open it for you. What it is a flow chart. It shows you what courses you take in order. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm only going to have, so what I did is I printed this out. Does everybody see it? Okay. I'm going to print it out. I'm going to get a highlighter. And now I'm going to highlight all the courses that each of these schools want. They want Math 5A, 5B, 5C, 6, and 7. They want 4B. They want 4A. Now, Boulder didn't want 4C, but Cal Poly and Davis did want it. So you're going to wind up taking 4C because you're going to apply to more than one school. You needed this. You needed this. You needed Chem 1A. You needed Engineering 30. You needed Engineering 25, 26. So for ME, if I write it at the top, ME for UC Davis, for Colorado State of Boulder, University of Colorado Boulder, and for Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, these are all the courses I need. And now the next step, now let's see, 36. One of the schools wanted 36. I guess I could just write that on there. I'll put that at the end. 36, Boulder wanted that. CU Boulder wanted that. 40, both CU Boulder and Cal Poly wanted it, right? So these are courses that 2 or 1 of the student schools want. Oh, I forgot 45. They want 45. So does it seem like a lot of work? It's a lot of work, but you could do it. It's just like doing a puzzle. You first figure out what you want to major in. You figure out which schools you'd like to transfer to. You print out this table and you do this. You print out the flow chart and you color it in, and then we make a schedule. So what we're going to do for the remainder of the time now is work together to get your schedule so that you know what you're taking next semester and the next few semesters. And what's really important is some of the core courses are demanding in terms of time, and some are not too demanding, and some are moderate, and you want to make sure that you balance it. Oh, Clay asked, so is this all you need to do at a community college prior to transferring? You also need to take some general ed classes. You know, those English and psychology and communications. And we would map those out too. Okay. So now what I need to know from you guys, because I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. So Emilio, what major are you interested in and what math class are you in?
So my major
and you guys may not know which engineering field yet. Just pick one that you're interested in so that I could group you.
So I'm a business major right now.
Okay.
So I'm still not sure what, I was talking to someone that works in engineering about it. I forget what they do specifically, but I think it was civil engineering.
Okay, so Emilio, if you're interested in business, you might want to go into industrial engineering. They're a step ahead. So many people get business degrees, right? Not a lot of people get engineering degrees. You're going to be more valuable with an engineering degree. You could always get a master's in business. It's not hard. Okay, so I'm glad that you're exploring engineering, and in the end, you just decide what you want to do. But for today's lesson, let's just pick an engineering field. Because industrial engineering has a lot to do with running businesses. That's why I'm saying industrial, but.
For sure, let's try that.
Okay, what math are you in?
I'm not in a math this semester.
Okay. Okay, Azriel. I know I'm not pronouncing your name right still, but sorry.
And
What's your what you're interested in fire protection, is that right?
That or civil.
Or civil. Okay, so civil, and what math are you in?
Also not in a math.
Okay. What was the highest level of math you took in high school?
Pre-calc honors.
Okay. And Emilio, how about you?
Same.
Same?
I've already, throughout high school, I was already going to Cabrillo. I did dual enrollment.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Does that affect this?
Okay, but did you take calculus yet at Cabrillo or no?
No, I did not.
Okay, okay. But you took pre-calc?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Daniel D. What's your major and what math are you in?
Well, I'm in high school. So
Okay, you're a high school student. Okay, what major are you thinking about?
I'm not exactly sure, but I'm kind of interested in biomedical.
Okay, high school. All right, Nick F. Major and math.
My major is currently electrical engineering, but I'm thinking about mechanical as well.
Okay.
And I'm currently enrolled in Math 4.
Okay. All right, Alexis. Alexis?
Oh, is it Alexis Melgoza or which one?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't say I didn't say that. Okay, no, Farrell. Well, I don't think he's here. Yeah, no, he's not here. Okay, yeah, no, it's you. Melgoza.
All right.
Engineering
sure.
field and what math are you in?
I'm not really sure yet, but I'm leaning towards civil engineering, and I'm in math 4.
Okay. Okay, Braden? Okay, Brandon. Is Brandon here? Kevin? Field of engineering and math you're in.
I'm leaning towards electrical engineering, and the math I'm in is 5A.
Okay. Okay, Marlene.
Civil engineering, and I'm taking math 4 right now.
Okay. Francesca, you're high school, is that right? Did you say high school before?
No, I'm not in
Oh.
high school.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, which field?
I wanted to go into architectural, and I'm in 5B right now.
Okay. Great. Clay.
Aerospace engineering, and I'm in math 4.
Okay. Nick Marini.
I'm a high school student, but I'm in math 5C right now.
At Cabrillo?
Yeah.
Wow, great. Okay, Fabian.
Environmental.
Oh wait, before you go on, Nick Marini in Math 5C, are you planning on staying at Cabrillo, or are you planning on going to a four-year school next year?
I'm not totally sure yet.
Okay.
I'm talking with my college counselor, but
okay,
I'll see.
Okay, Fabian,
Environmental.
and what math?
I'm in Calc 1.
Okay, Danny, major and what math are you in?
Civil engineering, and I'm in a pre-calc.
Okay, thanks. Enio?
Mechanical engineering, and I've finished 5C.
Wow, nice. Are you taking Math 7 right now?
Not this semester.
Okay, all right. Orlando, engineering major? Oh, Braden, I see. Chemical engineering, math 5A. Thank you. Okay, Julio, major in math, you're in. Yesenia?
I picked civil engineering, and I'm in math 5A.
Okay. Okay, Matthew.
Aerospace engineering and math 5A.
Raul.
Civil and math 5A.
Okay. Okay, let me just see who I don't have yet. So Brandon, I think Brandon left us. Orlando, are you back? No. And Julio? No. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate you guys into different, let's take a break. It's 10 to 6. So let's take a break. Come back at like 5 after 6, and then I'm going to put you in breakout rooms, okay? So take a break. And I need to concentrate on what I'm doing because I want to put you in different groups. Azriel? Do you think you're going to take pre-calc when you do take math, or you're going to go straight on to calc? Emilio, are you here?
Yes,
Emilio, you're the one with the business major, right?
correct.
You're not really sure. Do you think you would, if you went and took math next semester, if you decided to go into engineering, would you take pre-calc next semester? Or would you go straight into calculus?
Let me check.
Okay. It's okay. I'm just going to put you. I have to figure out how to do this.
So I've already taken Math 152 and Math 4, at Cabrillo.
You took Math 4 already too? Okay, great. Julio, are you back?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, great. Julio, could you tell me which engineering major you're most interested in and what math you're in right now?
My math, I was in here. Give me 1 second, it's right here. Math 4-7.
You're taking class Cabrillo, math at Cabrillo?
Yeah, math 4-7 or
Oh,
something.
4-7, math 4.
4-7, yeah.
Okay, and what engineering major are you interested in? Just pick one. I know you maybe not decided yet.
Metallurgical?
Oh, okay, materials.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Daniel D, are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't write down what you're thinking about in terms of your engineering interest.
I was thinking about biomedical engineering.
Okay, and tell me about math again.
I'm taking calculus right now.
Math 5A. Okay, thanks. Okay, we're gonna get started in 1 minute. Okay, is everyone back? Unmute yourself if you're back.
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay. Just stay unmuted.
Back. I'm back.
Okay. Okay, Nick F, Raul.
Yeah, I'm here.
Ennio. Okay, Kevin, Marlene, Ennio, Braden, you guys back? Alexis? Okay. Okay, you guys. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to share my screen again. And what I want you to do is take out a piece of paper and write this down, or if you want to write it on an iPad or whatever, write it wherever you want. But basically, I want you on the top of the page to write your name, the major you're thinking about, and pick a university. You might not have decided where you want to go. Just pick a university so that I know that you're comfortable doing the process we're doing. And if you are interested in applying to one school in California, pick a California school because it'll be easier for you. And then write these down. Some of you have been at Cabrillo last year, so I would always like to know what you took last year. And then we have a plan for what you're going to take the next 2 or 3 years. Okay, so write this down. I'll give you 5 minutes. And then under fall 2020, write down what you're taking now.
Do we have to write the units as well?
No. No. Okay, is everybody ready? So if you're taking Math 4 now, do you see how I put Math 4 in fall 2020? Then under spring, write Math 5A. And then Math 5B. And then Math 5C. And then Math 7. So whatever you're taking now, just go on from that. Whenever I do schedules, I always put math in first. So those of you, there's a couple of you not taking math now, so make sure you put the right math in next.
It
So-
seemed fall 2021 happens twice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Great. And then put whatever other classes you're taking fall of 2020. Okay, those of you who are in Math 4 right now, I want to make sure that you're getting all the support you need to be successful, because Math 4 is harder than calculus. And sometimes when you're new to Cabrillo, new to college, you're not used to working very hard in school. And Math 4, you have to work really hard in. And there's so much free tutoring and teachers having office hours that you have to be proactive in taking advantage of all that. If you don't go out and get everything that's free, then you might struggle and have to repeat Math 4 again.
That is so true.
Okay. Okay, so does everybody have math in there and also wrote down what they took, what they're taking now? Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing now, and I want you each to put the piece of paper up to the screen so I could see. So let's say for Nick, what are you taking this semester?
Right now I'm just taking, let's see, how can I get this? Here we go. Just Math 103, so like the support class, Math 4, and Engineering 5. That's it for me.
Okay. Okay, and then you're working as well or no?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm working.
How many hours?
40.
Okay, yeah. All right, so you're working 40 hours, you're taking Math 4, which is really hard, and then you're taking this class, which is kind of low pressure. Okay, Francesca, I can't see what it says. Just tell me what you said, what you're taking for math now.
I'm taking 5B. I'm taking 4A for physics. I'm taking this class, and I'm taking the last English class.
Okay, so you're taking 2 demanding classes, and then English, which for engineering majors, sometimes English is pretty demanding. And then you have this class. Clay, what are you taking? Math 4?
Math 4, Com 1, which is public speaking,
Okay.
geography, and
Geography, okay. Okay, so you're taking Math 4, which is demanding, and then the other classes aren't too demanding, right? Not like Math 4.
it's definitely the most demanding class.
Yeah. Okay, somebody else want to share with me what you're taking this semester? Fabian, you want to tell me?
Yeah. Here. I wrote it in pencil, but it is.
Actually, why don't
Math
you tell me?
5A.
It's hard for me to see it.
Math 5A, English 1A, Engineering 5, ES 10, and then the library class.
Okay, so again, you're taking 1 demanding, and then ES 10 might be a little bit demanding. So what, you know what you're taking now, and you know whether you're taking too much of a load or less of a load. What you really have to gear yourself on what you could take next semester. Okay.
I definitely discovered that. It's a
Okay.
little much, but yeah.
So on the engineering education homework that I wrote up and I assigned, and it's on the module, there's an optional thing at the end. You could come to any of my office hours and I could help you do your whole schedule. I do this with engineering students all the time. So just come see me. My office hours are every day, Monday to Friday, 1 to 2. And it's in the STEM Center, and it's written on the homework assignment. So you could come and see me. But in the meantime, what we're going to do the rest of the time now is I'm going to put you in different breakout rooms that either you're taking the same math class or you have similar majors. I tried to group people in some similarity. So I don't know how many breakout rooms you've been in this class so far, but of course the first thing is to introduce yourself and meet the people in your group, and then find out what your majors are, and then work on setting up your schedule. So what you want to do is, depending on your major, you're going to do this table, right? And then you could highlight all the things you need on this flow chart, and then you could start making your schedule. So I'm going to do the breakout rooms now. And so just give me some time. Okay. I want to do it manually. I'm going to create the room. Oh, I have to go back. Manually. Recreate. I want 5 rooms. Recreate all rooms. So room 1. Okay, here it is. Not too bad. Okay, so Fabian is in room 1. Yesenia is in room 1. And Raul is in room 1. Okay, breakout room 2. 2 is green. It's Danny Perez. Danny. Alexis. Marlene. Okay. Breakout room 3. Is Matthew, Kevin, and Braden, and Daniel D. Okay, breakout room 4. Francesca, Nick, Marini, and Enyo. Okay. And room 5 is Nick F, Clay, Julio. Okay. Alexis Farrell, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, Alexis, could you tell me what your engineering major is and where you're and what math you're in?
Yeah. I want to do.
I'm just
agriculture.
hang on a second. I'm going to put everybody else in your room.
All right.
Okay, you guys, you're all invited to a room now. Okay, Alexis, you can talk to me.
Right, can you repeat the question one more time?
What major are you interested in engineering, and what math are you in?
I'm interested in agriculture, engineering, and
Oh yeah, we met. Okay,
yeah.
And what math are you in?
It's 152.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me see which group I'm going to put you in. I'm going to put you in group 2.
All right.
Okay, let's see.
I accidentally kicked me out.
Okay, try again. Danny.
Can't join.
You're not able to join.
I don't haven't received an invite.
All right, let me look to figure this out.
Yeah, it says that my internet connection.
Wait, Danny, I have 2 Dannys on the screen. That might be the problem. Danny, it looks like you're logged on twice, Danny.
Yeah,
You might want to just get on one way.
I closed the tab. So it should be.
All right, let me see. Oh, okay, here. Okay, let's try now.
All right.
Okay, Alexis, you're going to go to 2. Okay.
Oh no.
Hey, everyone. Okay. Okay. All right, so what my goal was for us in the breakout room is to really just figure out your schedule, but probably more important than doing the schedule is for you guys just to bond and talk about how to support each other and getting through some of the classes that are pretty hard. That's probably what is probably more important for that. So I think when I teach the engineering education for the next section of Engineering 5 next week, I'll make sure the breakout room is for that more. So, but if you did progress on your schedule, awesome. So what I just want to do is summarize what we went over today. So I'm pulling up the module again, just to remind you of where we are. So we're in week 5, engineering education. We first looked at the graph of saying really it doesn't matter where you get your engineering degree, but you do want to go through an ABET accredited program. And then we saw in here, this was the article that had a lot of data about the different universities. And from that, you could start thinking about, what kind of schools you would like to transfer to. And then I gave you an overview of what the engineering program is like at Cabrillo. And then I showed you the PowerPoint slides of the engineering education in the 21st century, where you saw, some schools are more research focused, some are more hands-on. And then we went through the different types of courses that are offered in the lower division the first 2 years, no matter where you go, whether you go to Cabrillo or a university. And then things that help you out are the checklist and then also the critical path. And then I do have some data here for Cal Poly on transfer rates. So what you're leaving today with is there is a homework assignment where I want you to reflect more on what kind of university you're interested in. And then also I'm giving you the option to come and meet with me during any office hour, and I could set up your schedules. Typically it's around middle of November that you register for the next semester's courses. So you might want to meet with me in the next, month and a half before the middle of November. All right. And now let's just see if you have any, general questions for me.
When you say meet with you on an office hour to do the schedule, are you talking about like our classes over the next few semesters and what to take? Oh,
yeah,
great.
So typically when I meet with an engineering student, I help them figure out their field of engineering and the type of university they want to transfer to. And then we make up a schedule for the whole time at Cabrillo.
Cool.
And then when you're transferring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the schedule that I would help you make up is for the next few years until you transfer.
So cool.
Okay. Okay, other questions for me? I'll stay on till 7 if you guys want to just sign out and leave. No problem. Hope to see you in my office hours. Definitely get all the support you need to be successful in the math class. The math right now is the most important for you. And just because you don't do well in the first math class, you just take the class again. It's not a big deal. I have had students who took Math 5B 3 times and they're working as successfully as an engineer right now. So don't worry about it if you're not getting it the first time, especially Math 4, that's the toughest.
Why is it the toughest, do you think?
Yeah, because there's so many topics they cover in there and it's not really continuous topics, where once you get to calculus, you're doing differentiation on different types of problems, and it just progresses on one main topic. But in Math 4, there's this and there's this and there's this and this, and they're trying to shove it all in.
And hey, so I'm not doing too hard in my math class. Do I just take it again in like the summer or next semester? How would
Take it next, is it Math 4?
Math 5A?
5A, yeah. Did you take Math 4 at Cabrillo?
No, I took pre-cal in high school.
Okay, and the question would be, how much did you really learn in the pre-calc in high school? Sometimes.
I mean, I learned most of it. I had like an A in the class. So
I'm sorry?
I had an A in the class, so that
Okay,
was
but,
pretty
but
good.
that doesn't really mean anything, right?
Right.
Some teachers just throw out A's and they don't really, you're not
Right.
getting an A because you know
It was,
you
it was
got
super
it.
easy. It was because she did everything for us, so I just followed her.
Yeah,
Oh,
so it could be that you didn't really get the foundation to be
Right.
successful in 5A.
Yeah.
So one of you I heard, I think it was Nick F. Nick, didn't you say you took Math Plus in the summer?
I did, yeah, and it was super helpful.
Okay, so there's a program where it's called Math Plus, and I don't know if they have it in January. Nick, do you know?
That I really don't know.
Okay. Fabian, do you have a counselor at Cabrillo yet? Anybody you met with?
Not necessarily. I just email them and then whoever responds to me.
Okay, have you, are you taking CG 51 STEM
Yeah.
or no?
No,
You
not
are?
STEM. Not STEM.
Not STEM. just-
Regular.
Who's your teacher?
Let's see. Is I can't find her name on here. Denise or Dennis?
Right, with the Y, right?
Yes.
Why don't you make an appointment with her? She's your teacher, so then you have a relationship with her. Tell her you're an engineering student, you met with Joanne, and she's talking to me about my Math 5A because it's hard. See if they do have Plus in the summer. The Plus program is for you to like get exposed to, they basically build up your skills in math so you can be
Right, because things are
successful in the
definitely
next
biting
class.
me that I didn't get, and that's what's
Yeah,
Sure.
and the other thing is if Math 5A is like so over your head, you probably should have started in Math 4. And if there's no Math Plus in January, then you might want to take Math 4 in the spring because you don't want to wait, you know, and
Right.
you want to make sure you're at the right level.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but talk to Denise for now.
Mhm.
And you're right, I don't know if her name is Denise or Dennis. It has a Y in it.
Right.
Okay, so make an appointment with her, okay?
Nice.
Okay. Okay, what other questions do you have for me?
Course checklist. How do you fill that out? I was really confused as to what the numbers meant. Number 1, number 2, number 3 on the course checklist.
Hang on, let me find.
I got one, dude.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay. So, can you guys see this? Not
Mhm.
really. Hang on. So my goal here was making up a sheet so that you could fill out to figure out what courses you need to take for different engineering majors, okay? Or for different universities. So in this particular case, this course checklist, the major we were interested in was mechanical engineering, and we were thinking about 3 different schools you might want to transfer to from Cabrillo. And then I used Assist and Boulder's website to check off all the courses I needed to take at Cabrillo before I transfer. So I know I need to take all these classes before I transfer. And then the next thing I did is I highlighted on this sheet what courses I needed. And then at that point, come see me and I can help you make up your schedule.
Okay.
All right, is that clearer now? So this checklist is to find out what courses you need to take at Cabrillo before you transfer. Okay, Clay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what else? What other questions, you guys? All right, well then we'll say goodbye. And if you need anything, I'm not just here to teach you this, I'm the department chair. Whatever you need, I will fight for you. So you just let me know what you need. Okay? That's what I do. You could ask any student that comes into this class to talk to you about what engineering is and how their time was at Cabrillo will tell you that I have your back on everything. Okay? So you just come see me. I'm the go-to person. Okay, hope to see you again this semester.
Of course. Thank you.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Thanks,
See ya.
Joanne.
Bye.
Bye.